Hey everyone, how are y'all doing? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have planned on creating a keylogger in Python. Uh, I have decided to divide this keylogger into 5 parts, and I will go through each of these parts in this video. Now, keyloggers are basically just tools that a hacker can use on a victim. And the reason as to why the hacker would use this is to silently monitor, record, and exfiltrate sensitive information, such as passwords, maybe financial data, conversations, etc. Now, we can do this in Python, and I will build this keylogger to understand how an attacker would operate, and so you would be able to defend against them. Keep in mind, this is for educational purposes only. Do not use this on systems you do not own or have permission to test. As I said, we will break this down module by module. It will be easier to go through each one of them and explain what they do and how our keylogger is made up of many different functions. As promised, on the screen I will show the 5 different modules that we will go through in order to build our advanced keylogger. And now we will open Visual Studio and start going over our first module. Before I go on and do the first module, I created a folder on my desktop named keylogger, and then I created the first file, which is keylogger.py. Now, as I said, before I get into the first module, we will need to install some dependencies first and run the following code, and we will be on the same foot. So let's get into the first module. Module 1, Keylogger. So we will use the py and put, or basically this first library, to capture every key pressed and log it into a text file. Now I'm gonna write the code and I will get back to you guys after I'm done writing it. This will run, so this entire program, this small, program will run in the background and capture every key, including special keys like space, enter, control, etc. Now just a quick explanation. Basically these are the most important lines in our code. This is just the function. And okay, so this these 2 lines of code here, their purpose is so we are trying to extract the actual character from the key using the this dot char at the end. So basically, if we enter 1, we can retrieve it. If we enter a, we can retrieve it. If we enter this at, we can retrieve it because it's a printable character, right? However, there are characters like space or hitting control, which are not printable characters, so they won't be recorded and through this dot char, and an error will come up. That's why we have this except attribute error, which opens a file named keystrokes.txt in append mode, meaning that it will, whatever we enter, so every other letter that we enter is going to be recorded at the end of that file in this folder, logs, which I have here. It's empty now. And okay, so this part of the code here basically registers the space, the control, and those kind of keys that aren't printable characters. In other words, that's why it doesn't have a dot char at the end. Oh, and this part here is basically we're just setting up a listener whose purpose is to just monitor keystrokes. This basically tells it tells to run the onPress function every time a key is pressed. Module 2, Clipboard. This module is about grabbing whatever is copied to the clipboard. It could be passwords, links, credentials, basically stuff, dangerous stuff in the wrong hands. I will write the code and I will get back to you. So this code basically opens this file clipboard.txt with write permission, and in that file we will write what this does, and basically this here reads whatever is currently copied to the clipboard. If the clipboard has unsupported characters, an error will occur, but it silently fails because we have said just pass if it has unsupported characters. And yeah, this is basically the second module. Module 3, screenshots. So in this module, we will basically aim to take snapshots of the user screen, and you could run this on a timer for periodic capture. So I will write the code and I will get back to explaining it. So yeah, this code here, it basically captures the current screen as an image. The image then is saved uh, on this path, so on this folder with this name, and you can modify this to take periodic screenshots using a loop and delay. But I'm just doing it for as in one image. But it can be done so you can produce periodically screenshots. Module 4, microphone recording. So the program that I'm going to write, it records a short 10-second audio clip using the system mic. So I'm going to, before I get into writing the code, you guys will need to also install Skippy. And after that, you can continue writing the code after me. So let's get into it. So this import here allows us to record and play audio using the system's microphone and speakers. This line below, it basically so this imports this write function from Skippy, which allows us to save audio data as a WAV file. Here, the extension. Uh, we have the function, which is called record mic, and it records the audio for a given number of seconds, which I assign 10. You can change the duration argument if you want to record longer. Uh, this fs here, this fs here is basically the sampling rate to 44,100 samples per second, which is CD quality audio. This means the mic will record 44,100 pieces of sound data per second. The higher the sample rate, the better the quality. And then we have this line of code here, which basically this tells the sound device to start recording. We have the total number of samples to record, which is the duration times the fs. We have the sample rate, which is the sample rate that we defined, basically fs, and then the channels, which it records in stereo, left and right mic channels. And finally, or not finally, but here we use this wait function, which basically blocks the script until the recording is finished. And then finally we write, or rather we save the recording into this folder, and the file is named audio.wav. The fifth and last module, system information. In this module, we will basically retrieve hardware information like the OS, the IP address, and stuff like that. So I will get into writing the code and then I will get back to explain it. But it's pretty self-explanatory. However, I will appoint 30 seconds to explain it. And yeah, this is our final module. So here so this gives the computer name, this gives the IP address, this here gives the IP address, uh, this platform.system over here, and platform version. They describe the OS, which it could be Windows, Linux, or Mac OS. And this platform machine here, it shows the CPU architecture. Is it 86, 64, IRM, whatever could it be? It will record it, and it will record it for us. And now this logger file is basically the file that's going to, it is basically the main file that ties all the modules together and runs them when we start the script. So I'm going to write this last piece of code, and we will finally demonstrate our keylogger. And yeah, we are importing all the functions, and we are creating that logs file if it doesn't exist as a directory, and then we are calling all the functions from these files. And finally, we're just keeping the listener alive so it listens. Now we will test this logger that we created. However, before we do that, I first want to copy something on my clipboard so I can show that the clipboard part works. So if I were to copy this, right, I just copied it. And now let's run this keylogger. So let me open a terminal and let's run this python logger.py. Now, after I run this, I will keep speaking so I can show you that the audio works, and also I will keep hitting some keys so I can show you the keystrokes part. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, it's working now. Now, oh, as you can see, the files are being created. So I'm hitting some keys now, and I want to show you the keystrokes part. As you can see, it's being registered. So let me hit S. You see, it's registering everything that I'm entering. And now let me show you the clipboard part. As you can see, it got the clipboard thing and it displayed it here. Now, what about the audio part? Let's hear it. Well, as you can see, the files are being created. So I'm hitting some keys. And yeah, the audio part works as well. What about the screenshot? Yep, a screenshot was taken. Now, as for this system, it also works, but I will show it and I will just hide my information. But as you can see, we also retrieved the system part. And yeah, this was all about how you can create a keylogger, or how an attacker could go on about creating one. And now I will give some tips on how to protect yourselves from a keylogger. So how can we detect or defend ourselves from keyloggers? Sometimes keyloggers can be hard to detect, and one way for you to be able to defend yourself is to check your task manager for any unknown Python processes, because I checked mine and Python comes up when the keylogger is running. You can, other than that, you can decide to use anti-malware or EDR tools. You can monitor unusual file access, such as clipboard, microphone, logs, etc. And also, you can restrict clipboard and microphone access for any unknown apps. And final disclaimer, so once again, this is for ethical and educational purposes only. Use this to build awareness and not malware. If you find this valuable, give it a like, subscribe, and share to help others learn responsibly. I really appreciate you guys for watching my videos. Have a nice one.